Hi, my name is Caroline, and yes, today we will be searching the anime. Also, by calling this Mrs. Descent in anime, I have opened the entire community, and I hope they very severely. I will tell you right away that I watched a couple of reviews of Solo Leveling and I thought it could be not that bad. I watched this anime, and yes, it turned out to be the worst I ever seen. Why is the video becoming out now and not 6 months ago? Well, at this point, I say two things. I burned out that I wrote the script, and 6 months ago or in last summer this channel not even exists. So let us look at this masterpiece. First, a little self-promotion. If you're interested in my work, the links to my TikTok are in the description. These were the content I published, they say the 4 links my social media in the description, even Steam. And let us get back to the video. So when I looked at the awards the creation received, I couldn't even believe my eyes. Anime of the Year, Best New Anime Series, Best Action Anime, Best Protagonist, Best Anime Score, Best Anime Engines, and blah blah blah, and 3 nominations on Best VR Performance. So 10 awards seems a lot to me for this anime, that's practically nothing special. It seems like a joke to me. Okay, let's take popular anime that truly knows and loved. JoJo Bizarre Adventure won the 2020 Crunchyroll Anime Awards in the Best VA Performance Japan category, won by voice actor Bruno Bucciarati, and that's it. Naruto Shippuden Hurricane Chronicles TV series 2007-2017 received 2 Crunchyroll Anime Awards nomination, 2018 Best Content Serial nomination and 2017 Best Fighting Scene nomination. Most popular the other Naruto with Sasuke. Frieren won awards in the following categories: Best Dramatic Anime, Best Production Design, Best Director Kenshiro Saita, Best Supporting Character fan from the series. So when I look at how many awards anime that supposedly have a history, a huge background received, they only get 1, 2, or even maybe 3, but not more than 4. However, then I watched Solo Leveling, an anime that has been hyped up and scoop up 9 awards. I wonder what kind of passion some has to have to call Solo Leveling even a good anime. Maybe I am just being overly blunt and the anime will perform well, let's see. Before watching the anime, there are a couple of nuances worth mentioning before the review. There are only 6 rank. E rank, you are weak and do support work. D rank, a little stronger but still a loser. C rank, strong but not elite. B rank, here already get some skill and gain faster status. A rank, elite. S rank, the strongest. It's worth mentioning that you can't level up, but for some reason our main character can, which is nonsense. However, okay, they justify it as a double awakening, which will simply be forgotten. The gap in power is simply enormous, and in leveling is just nonsense. No anime has such a level gap. In addition, even if there is, the heroes at least use experience and try to improve their knowledge and tactics, which are simply not available in leveling. So keep in mind that leveling is impossible and the gap is huge, and move on. Before the first episode, we get a quick explanation of the world, like the idea of awakening once and the power being impossible to chant and all of that. It itself shows how people go after monsters not with pistols and firearms but with the simple bows and arrows. What struck me even more was the fact that anime was simply ignores the fact you can use firearms made for the metal you have minted in dungeons. Furthermore, it's stupid that people have not even considered how to synthesize metal. For 3 years, such a sword has not even been raised. Episode 1 also introduced winner Jin Woo. Instead of finding a stable job, he became a hunter. No, he has no power or skill. Oh well, he almost got away twice. The first time he was healed, and the second he was reborn with the power of the plot here. After finally defeating the initial dungeon, his squad found the next level of the dungeon, where the votes were tied 6 on 6, and Jin Woo ended up with the desired vote. He gave up a vote for the dungeon, which out of selfish led of the death above about 7 people, but actually 12. The anime doesn't even show any consequence for Jin Woo. The gist of the second episode is that the team left and main character were chopped up into a salad, then the main character was made into a player with starts and all of that. In episode 3, our main character woke up in hospital room. 2 guys in suits come in, check on him and Mana, but find nothing and leave. The main character simply resurrected without scars or anything. In addition, there are no consequences for the fact the main character sent 12 people to death. Everyone will just forget about it. I forgot to mention that our main character has played Power, Dungeon Mastery has a pair, too, by the way. Jinwoo's Trinity is copied from Saitama's, by the way. It's worth mentioning that the body only regains its shape through recovery, while our crybaby boy simply says something about recovery and simply recovers. The difference between Saitama trained like a frenzy and crazy and becomes the strongest because of it, while Jinwoo becomes the strongest simply because that's how story that goes. There's really nothing to say about 4th episode. We watched our go hero to the dungeon, to which he obtains the key using a briefcase. Don't ask how in the dungeon he encountered a snake and essentially died, but remember the protagonist's power, he killed it by fingers. Well, he also threw a dagger at a golem and pierced it. That's all. Then he says he doesn't want to reveal his power to the world. Episode 5 showed Jinwoo training, but they forgot to mention that pressing such pranks could cause muscle strain and injuries that would affect for your health. As for the episode, our hero meets up with some team of the son of wealthy businessman. The team doesn't have a healer, which sound probably suspicions, but our idiot hero decides it's normal. Seeing then goes to the group to the dungeon, so rich kids and Jinwoo are simply abandoned and left to die. The battle in episode 6 was greatly exaggerated, and similarly the spider, who was shown as an uber-powerful creature, is overpowered, but ultimately let's count the numbers of Chekhov's guns per square meter. A weapon that comes to hand at just the right moment, a skill that was accurate got nowhere in half of the screen, a recovery skill the main character seemingly has by accident, a monster on red who doesn't even fight back. The hero skill is simply adjusted for screen to simply win. Of course, it's mirrors you who is obliged to win, not some run of the mill anime hero who needs to control himself to survive. Of course, it's worth mentioning how the gang of 6 from episode 5 returned and beat up the main character. Then they preach about how killing weak hunters is bad and blah blah blah, world is cruel and the rest. And then our hero who despises such people, those who kill weak hunters and raids, being a hunter clearly 2 or 3 heads stronger than those who can kill these 6. Yes, morality. Therefore he says he is moralist and killing is bad and blah blah blah, and he kills 6 people because the system forced him to. Okay, this system here, and he counted to be moralist ever after this, considering he went against principles. The person just acted hypocritically throughout the rest of the anime. The guild discovered that Jinwoo and the rich guy survived, but don't be afraid of any plot or consequence. Also, the rich guy's father wants to start his own hunting company, and the rich guy offers the main character 30 billions for 20 raids, which is the understanding that no one will know about it. Our main character refuses, saying I want to see how my body reacts to the leveling up, and blah blah blah. In episode 7 we could potentially have had a villain, and he wants revenge for his brother from 5th series, whom the main character killed, but the tone will change according to the plot, and I'll tell you how. The hero set the training plan, after which he loot a blessed loot box, and guess what he got? A case containing dungeon key, and the dungeon contains a potion that will put you, or correctly his mother, in good shape. But his legs are a mess. With such luck, he and Hakari should play in casino instead of going to the dungeon. Maybe he will even win. The hero goes to the dungeon and meets Dog, who beats him up probably badly and wipes the floor, but he heals himself with system, destroys the dog and leaves the dungeon. Yeah. Really good fun. In the episode 8, they go to the new dungeon and the whole team reunites. The Represents Hunters also accompany them with chaotic action as their overseer. The Warren performs an alternative action to reviving the prisoners, kills them team members. The old man enters the fray and the main characters jump in. The battle accompany mess again. I don't see the point in describing science. Some close person defeated a serial killer. Then the old man is like, I killed the hunters, and that's it. The only thing I can note is the main character scolded the observer for killing 3 prisoners because they were hired to kill them because they violated the duties of some person who hired the blue-haired guy. Over here condemns the murder of 3 prisoners, even though he himself killed 6 people and didn't even have a consequence. Well, yeah, as soon as you need to show the hero as good morals and sitting down with a look like I'm the main character and I will kill because I'm good, and in general everyone will forgive me and there will be consequence. In episode 10, a man wants to recruit the main character as a hero because he is strong, but the man with assassin abilities blackmailing the command office workers, so he won't say anything about him. He literally threatened to harm him. In episode 11, he goes on job for chilling quest, but he is not allowed to use system tricks. There he encountered boss made a blood-red ignite, and for the first time, the battlefield like the main character was thrown and kicked around. He defeated the boss with powering his traits. The season finale is a complex joke. The main character gets hit up by the Oak Knight, and then with his overpowered traits, he wins everything, and that's not at all. He receives the Necromancer profession, and in theory, he didn't level up the Ancient Legend, meaning the professional is intentionally useless for the main character. And you killed the boss, it would seem surely he wouldn't resist the strongest mob that almost killed him, right? That's exactly what he'll do. He resurrects the boss. What did you expect? The system has already been giving him some level ups behind the scene, yeah, for appearance. Season 2 is a head of cynicism for Jinwoo. Basically, the main character went on raid and the Red Gate with his sister's classmate. They are split into two groups, the supposed cool ones and supposed losers. A group of losers without the main character went through the gates, found the elves, and everyone except the captain died. The main character also had to deal with the death of extras, as he could have gone with a group of extras and destroyed the elves, but he didn't. Oh well, the main character killed bears while they were dying. Cool, it's worth remembering then Foreigner who wanted to overrate his brother and then left. In the second episode, the squad leader comes to the main character furious, and the main character hid his power and let his guys die. The main character simply kills them. Yes, without a hint of remorse. Anyway, the leader of elves arrives with a mini army, explaining that their voice in their heads is forcing them to kill people, and the leader is pretty well written. He is still a one-dimensional blockhead, but at least compared to the main character, he has plus 100 charisma. Our main characters can handle his ferocity. Guy and resurrect the squad leader. He killed a minute ago, and with the help of the resurrected commander, the knight, and some blows on the red, he knocks down the elf. The only question is how the squad leader becomes so powerful, considering the resurrection seemed to resurrect with the same amount of power and the corpse that had a life. As for episode 3, well, they found the main characters dead, yeah, in prison. That's it. Episode 4 and 5, our main character decided to get a job, and then haircut Kit Kat mine falls in the love with the main character, because he doesn't stink. Well, that's it. I saw it all. She is literally falls in love with them. Not to mention how the main character patently waits while his teammates on the raid get hurt, brazenly and mercilessly beaten. Episode 6, The Raid. Episode 7, a lot of show-offs, and our main character simply uptriggered some TV star with his cameo appearance. And no, that's not a joke. In episode 8, an enemy girl appears, she will fall in love with the main character and practically spread her legs for him. Seriously, I think we are talking about a Isekai-style realism here, not a harem series. As out, I'm really disappointed in anime, as the boss appears again and the main character takes him down. Haha, how unexpected. Well, in episode 9, he gave his mother the elixir and she came back to life. Hunters from Japan arrived in Korea, and it was somewhat interesting to follow them. They teased the fight, which took place off screen, yeah, and essentially the hunters are preparing for raids in the Eastland. Oddly enough, in 10 series, the fight between heroes from different countries was interesting to watch before the main character showed up, because after that all the excitement simply vanished. So, our S-Class Hunters in episode 11 as a whole. It takes Legend who force divide among several people. It's interesting to watch their teamwork. They take Bird off to the ends, even throw their fight together. Soon Jin out of frame, the anime tries to show off without him for the first time. It's still bad, but at least it's something. And in episode 12, the main character arrives and with the help of his army unexpected defeats everyone. Yeah, how unexpected, he fights the boss. He takes the brand and and its system, that's unexpected. He simply destroyed the monster because the system told him level up. It's literally give up him the story for fun, and of course he wins. Well, as for episode 13, well, there no point to talking about it all. He was just shown off with his army. So I'm almost halfway through the video, and what I can say about the anime and the result. This anime was simply uninteresting to watch, as the first 3 episodes, only the first and second ones, offer anything interesting, and they fail to entertain. The anime is uninteresting. The anime hero gimmick has a system in theory. This could be used to build a plot exploring the system came from anywhere, where he, of all of people, becomes a bearer of his power. Expand on arts and etc. The anime just keeping harping on how cool and strong the hero, and that's it. The plot is simply uninteresting. Remember at the beginning I talked about the acts of story, so let's see if the acts of good story are followed in this walk. Hunters will pause and say yes of course, but no. Act 1, exposition and the installation incident. Let's recall the definition of exposition. Exposition is a part of work that introduces the characters, actors, predicts the annihilates unfolding of the net structure. To be fair, I will note that the exposition essentially lasts for 3 episodes and we aren't given any real information. Really, we are simply given the idea the heroes and their fourth monsters that are basically explained the class system in anime. Formally, we are told that the main character mother is the hospital and that their sister needs to pay for her stats. But I feel like that wasn't enough exposition, and you know why? Because the background characters simply weren't developed and were forgotten. The hero enemies of friends weren't defined. Did they say he is weakest weapon? Yes, you say a lot, but you can show it, sure. That just don't show us how he be the weakest weapon, and I felt like I didn't get out of that of all. The idea behind the interesting journey to save the mother and help her sister, you could say the idea is old, and with good execution it could be played out well. Take Jojo as an anime for example. His mother loves and cares Jota who overcomes his stunt. He may be a bully, he may be a bad guy, but he is shown to have character. He's told yes, but a caring person, and look at his friendship with the rest of team. As interaction with Naruyuki Kakyon are excellent and show the hero look at the around him. They are all beautiful writing. For example, I was genuinely saddened by Muhammad Abdul death because he showed himself to be a living person, and his death brought tears to the whole team. And the characters' deaths, they are completely unfelt. It's like the deaths of puppets. They weren't reality at all. They weren't show how they became like this, and they weren't show how they do these scenes what he did. They just faceless actors, that's all. They're just uninteresting to follow, and after a couple of fights the anime just blurs together like a carbon copy. So let's go back to Act 2, and it's the same story. Act 2, obstacle, but big turn, obstacle, disaster, crisis. And it will seem like they're a catch, but let's take a closer look. Obstacles aren't really obstacles, because the hero just always destroys everyone, and that is like he couldn't piece that snake and won his fingers. Why? Well, I don't know. That's just the script said it's Boomer with all fights, but more later. There's simply no big twist. There simply doesn't learn anything about the force of fail. He's simply not interested about it. He simply entered the dungeon, made money, and that's it for him. It's essentially just a job. There's simply no catastrophe. They try to show it in episode 3 when the hero was chopped up by statues and his win about life could have been called a catastrophe. Did you believe it? No, of course, that's no catastrophe here. Not at all. They tried to show a crisis the last 2 episodes of season 2, but they couldn't show it because they didn't even try. That's the kind of contradiction. They tried but didn't try. Essentially, the only scene left from the second act and the title, and it's being written as obstacle. Hero is cool and everyone is loser. Everyone. one. And finally, the third act, climax, resolution, and there are no climax nor the revolution. Why? Because according to the manga spoilers, the hero become a god after his death. It was simple. Okay, now a question about the plot. Is everyone that stupid or what? You have a guy who went the lower class and higher one, he clears dungeon after dungeon and remain in E class. Since there be his says, and so what if they hunted him? Just look at the main character. He came from lower class and in theory he will be in purple like them, means those weaker than him, and respect them, at least he started with them. But no, he's just showing off his trait, which he didn't do anything for. He trained but only when he has fully recovered, and in any sport getting into shape depends on recovery. But never mind the ego. Our hero is also a bit sissy. Think about it, he condemned that assassin from chaotic organization for killing people, but Originu killed 6 people himself, and I won't even mention how that gave up the necromancer power. The guy trained his physique not intelligent, and there they have him a class intimately requires through intelligence. It would have been possible to describe how hard for him to gain levels in this power trick, and how difficult it is to learn all kind of magic, but no, he just gained levels for free and resurrects the strongest soldiers, who almost killed him a minute ago. Not to mention that all the heroes are extras. They have 2 branches, those who grovel and praise the main character, and those who are evil and die because of the main character. And that basically is it. There's no interaction between them and the main character. Just remember how Nagata or Dio Brando were written. For example, they literally have everything: appearance, style, trait, character, behavior, traits, goals, dreams, aspiration. And so 11 heroes can't merge like that. To the dummy. After the main character were given the power in necromancy, the battle will become simply uninteresting. It's like player unlock autoplay, and boring to watch. Basically, you could say it's autoplay in the game, as I say before this phrase. That's it. The heroes are just blind Texas with no character. The main character has power, and they have no fear of him. No one cares. Usually I have to go into much detail here, but not this time. Unfortunately, in the anime the tracks simply lack character. They are just extras. They have 2 options: growl before the main character and talk how strong he is, or despise the main character and be killed, which isn't ironic. I remember 5 character, for example. That's Noel from Dungeon in season 2. Does he have a character? Well, it's one-dimensional, but he has one. His motivation lies defeat the main character, while one-dimensional, yes, but is currently valid. But he was simply wasted. He showed a lot more emotions, and that's why he was at least somewhat memorable. Our main character was just a winner who just wanted to be strong because, well, just because. We aren't fully developed. He just spent the entire anime showing off his trait and the others lack theory of. Saitama's pathos is appropriate because he trained it and because anime is just plain cheesy. Jotaro Kuja pathos is appropriate because he generally thinks about his fights and his character well written, but Jinwoo doesn't deserve it. Such unhealthy show-offness is simply inappropriate for a character who got everything in its rights because it isn't overcame and consequence without a fight. The main character have no character. There is a vine in anime or show-off on 100%, and that's all personality his trait. A winner and show-offer who gained power and starts humiliation, the other beats him low. Oh, and here's moralist who consider him chaotic for murder, even though he himself killed 6 people and apparently killed even more in the anime. He had no right to condemn him in theory. And that's it. All the characters are exist extras or just one episode enemies. Oh, Jin will become a god in the end of manga. Here, it's small spoiler for you. I watched a lot of titles and I have to say this anime isn't worth your attention. There are no humor, no plot, no main characters, and all of the characters besides the main character are extras and inseparable of the human emotion. As for the world building, it's too weak. There are simply no common sense in the anime. It's simply boring and uninteresting to watch due to the lack of decent enemies. The battles are simply and boring, all boring and repetitive. The main character simply defeats everyone and that's it. When I looked at how many awards this anime has received, and how many reviews it has received. I decided to watch it, and yes, it's as bad as it gets. The villains are the same, the heroes are the same, there's no substance. If you like copycat and insane plots, this is place for you. If don't, watch something normal. For 10 likes and 5 comments, I will make a video about the top 10 anime I think you worth watching. This is your favorite Fox Boy. Goodbye everyone.